Guess what? I'm a knucklehead. I've been talking for 2 minutes and I forgot to press the start broadcast button. Before it started falling out, I was blonde, so you'll forgive me. How's everyone doing? What's up?
I'm a knucklehead. I've been talking for 2 minutes and I forgot to press the
now.
start broadcast
There we go. I'm all discombobulated. That's a nice word to use from time to time. Anyway, I had some things that I really wanted to tell you folks before I got started with the Q&A. And I'm glad you guys are joining me. We love doing, meaning me and Tom, who's at home in Stanford, love doing the live shows because it's a fun way for us to kind of interact with you and talk and get to know you. Anyhow, here's what's happening. You'll notice at the bottom of the chat window, there's a little icon. It's a $sign icon. If you have a question that you just have to have answered, YouTube has now put in place a little $sign icon. You can actually pay a couple of bucks, get your question answered. It'll show up on the feed, and I'll definitely see it, and I'll definitely answer. That being said, guys, you know I'm going to try and get to everyone's questions anyway. So it's just a new feature they put into place. If you want to use it, go for it. Secondly, what else did I have to say? Oh, yeah, today is March 9th, and not this weekend, but the following weekend, I will be at the Tampa Repticon show. So a lot of the animals that you guys are going to see here today, and a lot of what we talk about, I'm going to have these animals with me for sale at the Tampa Repticon. Also selling them if you contact me at kampkenan@gmail.com if you guys want to order one. As long as the weather's good, I can send them next day air. And so there you have it. So a lot of these animals after next week won't be available because usually in Tampa I do very well. We sell a lot of these animals. But we're going to talk about baby tortoises. I have a few different species that have hatched out. And we're going to get to that, I promise. But there was another thing that I wanted to discuss with you guys. And I'm having a brain fade, man. Gosh, the original intro was really stellar, let me tell you. But, well, I guess that's it. Well, one more thing, which we're pretty excited about here at Kamp Kenan, and that is June 24th, I'll be hosting the all-new and improved Crock Fest 2017. I'm pretty excited, so you're going to see a lot more of promotion for the June 24th Crock Fest at the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary. Those of you who watch my videos know that Bush is like a home away from home. So it's pretty exciting because Crock Fest, all it does is raise money for crocodile biology, crocodile conservation, and it helps those conservation biologists who are out there in the field get the work done. So you guys can go check out the Crock Fest's Facebook page, follow them on Instagram, and I'll be doing a lot of promotion for them because it's a really fantastic organization to help out these animals. We're also going to be doing a video and a couple of shows from Crock Fest, which will be cool. If you're in Florida or in the Southeast United States and you have the ability to travel, I would recommend you come check out Crock Fest because it's a really cool event where a lot of the who's who in crocodile husbandry and biology, they all get together from academics to zoo professionals to folks like myself and Kyle from just down the block, where we all get together, share ideas, talk to people like yourselves who may not be involved in animals, but we get you involved, and we also do a really nice barbecue and an auction to raise money for these animals. So that's it. Let's get going. What's happening over here, folks? I did say Crock Fest, Steve fulfilled. I did. So watch out, dude. I want to see if I can get my comments right here on this thing, and I can. Good. So check it, folks. I'm gonna move around here. We're gonna pull some tortoises out, guys. This event right now is for you. So ask questions. I'm going to pull out 2 different tortoises right now, and I want to show them to you. We'll start things off with the little cherry head tortoise right here. Let's see how that's looking. Looks pretty good. Not so bad. So this is a cherry head. This guy's only about a month old, and this is a redfoot, okay? So to the layperson, they may not really understand the difference between these two. I mean, they do look very similar, and in fact, they are essentially the same species. It's just that this variety has the red head throughout its entire life. And if you look at the shell, it's a little bit more vibrant. Now, underneath is where the real difference is. You can really see that there's more black on the plastron of this guy, and this guy's a little bit lighter. So I'm going to move back over here so I can see some of your questions and we can get right to them, folks. So go ahead and ask away. Let's see if we have some questions that I can answer. Chloe Hernandez, that's not really a morph. Let's see, it's just a naturally occurring morph, you know what I mean? These guys, just to keep talking, cherry heads are about $200 if you're looking for a cherry head as an offspring, as a baby, and the redfoots here are $125. But these guys, you know, same basic care. These guys, the cherry heads stay smaller, which some of you up north may like better because it's just easier to deal with when you have an apartment. I'm going to switch cameras right here. Let's see how this works. Hopefully this works good for you guys so that we can get a close-up. Yes, there we go. So again, here's the cherry head. These guys are really great for living up north. And, you know, they don't get as large as the redfoots. Redfoots are going to get close to 20, 30 pounds. That's not unheard of. Jay Waters is asking, do I have any Herman's tortoise for sale? No, but I do have some Greek tortoise eggs that are actually going to be hatching very soon. This guy's actually got a little bit of an extra scoot, and extra scoots in tortoises, as long as there's not too many of them, is not really that big a deal. It's not even a big deal if there are many of them. There's no health disadvantages to it. It's just that these guys have, they actually have, it's just a cosmetic thing. You know, it's like some people think it's from the incubation temperature fluctuation that causes that, but it doesn't hurt the tortoise at all. Some people actually like it. They're touched by an angel. Let's see, man. Today we're focusing on tortoises, so I'm not going to grab Solomon out. What breed is my youngest tortoise? Poppy 1107. I don't know if I understand the question. What breed is my youngest tortoise? I mean, which tortoises did I start working with the most recently? I don't know. Kind of been working with them all for a long time now, last 10 years. That guy, do you like common snappers? Let me tell you about common snappers. They're some of my favorite turtles, and they were one of the first turtles that I collected, you know, that I caught as little babies when I lived in Long Island, New York. They were pretty prevalent then. And I love those tortoises, excuse me, turtles. Great, great turtles. They're amazing. So let's see. United States Air Force, snow. Is a Herman's tortoise good for Virginia? Yes. They can take cooler temps. They cannot take the frozen winter temps. I wouldn't leave them hibernate for too long up there. Some can, but you have to know where their range is. Make sure that you are getting them from Southern Europe, which is where they are prominently found. They are good. They stay small. Great animal. Love them, man. What's up with the audio? You guys can't hear me? Hold on. Let's see. Built-in microphone. I don't know. Should be hearing me good here, people. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Someone reply. Let me know. If you had a choice, would you pick a Herman's tortoise or a Russian? I would pick a Herman's tortoise because Russian tortoises come in taken from the wild, and they come in with a lot of diseases. So that's a problem. You don't want to get Russian tortoises and mix them with any of your other tortoises. I'm glad you guys can hear me, because the Russian tortoises could potentially have diseases that would really make all your other tortoises sick if you keep more than one species, and if you keep them together, it's very important. I don't keep Russian tortoises here for, like, sometimes the sanctuary has one that needs a home, and I'll keep them quarantined and then find it another home, because man, they're just loaded with parasites, loaded with disease, because they have like a really long journey to get here from Central Asia. So I wouldn't do that. I'm going to hold up this guy here, man. Let's see. We got a lot of questions. What kind of tortoise is best for North Texas? North Texas, man, gets chilly. I'd say, you know, your elongateds can take cooler temps. They like high humidity. North Texas, I think, can be humid at times. If you're talking about the panhandle, I would suggest, though, any of the tortoises like the Greek marginated and the Hermans, because they can take cooler temps, and there you go. Is it bad to miss a day of light in UVB? Chloe, if it's once, no. You know, that's okay. But generally, you want to make sure they get about a, you know, they say like a half an hour UVB light a day. You guys know, if you've been watching my show, you know I go above and beyond. It's about living outdoors and stuff like that. So basically, I try and keep them, with the proper amount of light during the day, 8 hours at least. But if one day, 2 days won't even kill them. It's when you start getting over a week that they're not able to metabolize their vitamin D, the calcium, and that's what's going to happen. Okay, so that's a problem. Let's see. How much should I feed my 2-month-old sulcata? Very good question. And this is going to answer, this question is going to be good for sulcatas, redfoots, elongateds, radiateds, basically any of your baby tortoises. What I like to do, there's 2 things you can do. Since they're babies and they're growing all the time, it's good to feed them a little bit every day. Now, what I like to do is give them as much food as they are big. So give them a pile of food that's as big as they are and see how well they do. If they eat it all, fine, you know what you're up against. So then do that every single day, and that's fine. As they grow larger, you can go to an every other day feeding schedule. Because remember, guys, they're in captivity. They're not getting the same exercise. When a tortoise is in the wild, I've said it over and over, they walk, they graze, they walk, they graze. So they expend energy to get the energy from the food. So I would do that. That would be my thing. Let's see. Hey, Kenan, what do you do with your baby turtles if they breed? From the UK, Michael Pogmore. Well, Mike, honestly, I have no problem with selling my baby tortoises. I try and give people the proper information, but I do offer them for sale, but only here in the United States. Only in the continental US can I sell my tortoises. I don't ship them overseas. I just don't have the permits to do that, and just don't really have any inclination to get the permits to do that. But yeah, I have no problem as long as you're selling captive raised babies, as long as you're giving people the right information about them. And I like when customers do their homework. That's always the best thing for these animals. Let's see. Oh man, that was nice of you, man. Toast Grape says, thanks for being awesome. That's really cool of you, dude. Thanks, Toast Grape. Appreciate that. Every little bit, you guys, helps out. And the fact that you just spent $2 to say that I'm awesome, you're awesome. I'm just a guy who likes tortoises, man, and lizards and snakes and animals of all kinds. But thanks so much for that, man. Big shout out to you. All right, so let's see. Is it okay to keep my baby sulcatas in pairs? This is Tan Fan. He's heard that it's not good to keep tortoises in pairs, especially sulcatas. Interesting question. I'm going to grab 2 more tortoises. Let's go wide again. This way you guys don't lose sight of me. I'm going to answer that question for you, all right? So the question, I like that question because, I get it often too. Sulcatas are, they can be territorial. They can be a little bit of a challenge. But, it is possible. Here, this is funny. It is possible to raise them up, and they'll only be minor skirmishes, especially if you have a male or a female. Here's a little cherry head. Here's an elongated. The cherry head is eating some cactus. I don't know if you guys can see that, but he was just chowing down on some cactus right there. How rad is that? And that's how fun these tortoises are. I can pick them up and lift them off the ground, and they keep eating. They've been with me since birth, since hatching. So anyhow, guys, to answer that question, to get more thorough with that question, the deal is with sulcatas, with some of your more aggressive species of tortoise, as long as you have enough space for the 2, where say if you have 2 males and they're combating, usually that combat happens during breeding season. And when that happens, you just have to pay attention to the amount of pressure the aggressor is giving to what's going to be the less dominant animal. I have had instances here at my home where I have been gone for a little while. In fact, I'll show you. This is really sad. Check this out. So I was in Australia doing some things a few years back, and I had a tortoise named Zeus. And Zeus was by far the biggest sulcata I've ever had. Look at this. Look at the size of Zeus's shell, guys. Zeus was a monster and was gorgeous. And I loved Zeus, and I had him in my colony. But being that Zeus, even though he was the largest tortoise in the colony, did not mean that he was the dominant one. And I got another guy you may have seen in my videos. He's much bigger now than when he was wrestling with Zeus, and his name's Lumpy. So what happened was I was in Australia, and my dad, who's older and doesn't really understand tortoises, when I got home said, "Hey man, that tortoise isn't moving." So I went out and I looked at Zeus and noticed that the skin that attaches to the top part of his shell, the carapace, was peeled away. You could look right in and see his lungs. It was a horrible feeling to see that, because you know, reptiles, they don't make noises, they don't scream in pain, they just deal with it, and they just sit in pain, and they take a long time to die and suffer. It's horrible. So what had happened was the smaller tortoise had longer gular projections and kept ramming at him, and unfortunately Zeus was backed up against the fence and couldn't get away, and actually Lumpy pushed in his skin and caused that injury. And as you can see, I tried everything. I had my friends Amy Kite and David Hitzig from Bush Wildlife who tried to help this animal out, but the injury was just too catastrophic. Once the skin pulls away from the shell, it's very difficult to reattach it. In fact, the only person who I know who has had any kind of success is my friend Sam Piscucci, who was able to reattach it with some staples and drilling through the shell. It was like crazy, but that tortoise made a full recovery. Unfortunately, Zeus, he didn't make it. So I would recommend you raise them up. You can raise sulcatas in pairs. You can have two males. It's usually, if you raise them up and you have two males that have been raised up together, no problem, that's fine. When you add a female, it changes the dynamic, changes the whole game. So when a female comes in, they start fighting. So it depends on what you guys want to do. If you're just going to raise them up, two males and not get a female, probably not going to be a big deal. But if you got a male and a female, you're looking to breed, even though it's a male and a female, sometimes there's aggression between those as well. Hope that helps. It's kind of long-winded. Let me put these guys back, grab another tortoise, and we'll talk a little bit more. Let's see here. Oh, you know what I'm going to do, man? This is kind of rad. I'm going to walk over here after I look and see if there's another question. Is there any way to help conserve turtles if you live outside the USA? I use Argua. Argua? Well, yes, there is actually. I don't know where you're from, but the Turtle Survival Alliance .org, turtlesurvival.org, is a global conservation organization dedicated to keeping turtles and tortoises alive. They have chapters all over the globe, very prominently in India as well. So go to turtlesurvival.org, find out how you can help. That's how I would start there. Also, the Turtle Conservancy, based in California. Actually, they're based in New York, but they have their center in California. You go to Turtle Conservancy, Google that as well. They're another great organization. And then the Turtle and Tortoise Preservation Group is also global. And if you want to help them out, go to ttpg.org and check them out as well. So what was I going to do? Let's see. Will another tortoise crawl in Zeus's shell and call it home like a snail? No. no, unfortunately not. So that won't work, man. Let's see. Will you swap your tortoise or iguana for my Chinese water dragon? No face. No way. No way. Let me get something out of here. I think you guys will dig this. Going over to the incubator, and we're going to see what's cooking. Well, it's hatching right now. There's always something going on over here. So let's bring it down. I want to show you something really cool. It's a redfoot, a couple of redfoots, and elongated. And how about this, guys? This is a really, really pretty redfoot that is hatching right now. Look at the shell of this guy, a real beautiful light color. I produce a few of these every year. They're just really beautiful. This guy's just out of the egg, so he's still got his yolk right here. I'll clean it off. Still got his yolk sac right there. You guys see? And he's covered in the vermiculite, which is the substrate that I use while incubating the eggs. So I'm going to put it back in. There it is, man. Really, really cool and beautiful little tortoise, excuse me. See, even I make mistakes. And here's basically how oh, look at this, look at this. We got an elongated hatching. Look at that. There he is, a little elongated popping out, man. How cool is that? These guys are funny when they hatch. They'll start like this, and then I'll put them away and come back the next day, and they've just exploded out of their eggshells. So really, really cool. I'm doing very well with elongateds this year. Big year for me with them. Look at them poking out. How cool is that, guys? You're getting to see some of the babies hatching. Here are some little sulcatas that just popped out. See that? Pretty rad. We got another cherry head, and we got an elongated. There they go. Little cherry head, elongated. And just like babies' heads, when they are newborn, sometimes kids have like odd-shaped heads. If you look, this shell's not very symmetrical. So this is gonna, adjust as the tortoise grows, and they'll grow out of that, and they get themselves all situated. So I thought you guys might like to see that. And I'm gonna put them back in the incubator because we have a few eggs that still haven't hatched, and I don't want to keep them out too long. But pretty rad. I'm digging it. I'm going to come back over, and we're going to get serious about these questions, people. Let's see what we got. I hope you don't mind, man. We're just we're freestyling it. That's how I like to do it here in the Kamp Kenan studio. Just rocking the freestyle. All right. I'm excited, man. You guys have been blasting. Oh, Ayush Argwal, thank you so much. Oh, man, thank you so much, guys. That was like really nice of you guys to donate like that. Thank you so much, mate. Appreciate it, and we're going to keep it up here, That's what we're up to, just playing around. Have tortoises been known to crossbreed before? Actually, yeah, they have. And who was that? Let me see. Armando Loya. Yes, I've actually seen a Lepcoptera, which is a sulcata and a leopard tortoise. I've seen that happen before. I've also seen a leopard tortoise and a redfoot tortoise. That's berserk, man. Really, really strange. So that was kind of crazy. Someone, I didn't know who it was asking if I'll ever get pancake tortoises. Scott Derry. You know what, Scott? Love pancake tortoises, but if you've been following me for a while, you know that I'm really passionate about keeping my animals outdoors. And with the pancake tortoises, they're very, very difficult to keep here in Florida if you keep them outside. They love it dry, and in Florida we just get too wet even during our dry season. So I avoid them only because of that, not for any other reason. There's plenty of different little species of tortoises that I don't work with because of the high humidity we have here. Just makes it easier, man. I don't want to get into, when I first moved to Florida back in 2004, I went nuts. I didn't know about the importation. I would come over here and I'd go buy imported tortoises and wonder why they were dropping like flies. I just didn't understand Florida. And, you do more good keeping animals that can thrive in the current environment that we're in or that I'm in. Can you? I like this guy. Man, how many times should I take my baby sulcata to a vet? Gerson Mazarigos. I'm sorry if I'm destroying these names. I'm always bad at names. That's why I'll forgive you if you call me Kenan now and again. But should I take it to the vet? Here's what I would suggest. Number one, you got to find a good herp vet, someone who really knows reptiles. If your tortoise is behaving normally, like let's say you get a tortoise, it's always great if you're very responsible and you're not someone who has had a tortoise before. Number one, want to buy from a reputable breeder, someone who knows what they're doing. Make sure that the tortoise was hatched by that person. Or if you can't do that and you go to a reptile store or a pet store, make sure they know where they got the tortoise from. Very important. So you're going to be looking for a clear-eyed, clear nose, no open mouth breathing, a lot of activity, bright, beautiful eyes. That's how you know you got a healthy tortoise. The animal should eat right away, things of that nature. So if you have the tortoise, bring it to the vet. Let them get to know your animal too, because just like you go to a doctor when you're a kid, the doctor knows your body. The doctor knows your habits. Same thing with this animal. So you get I would say, an annual checkup for your animal is not a problem. And then, of course, if you notice the animal's not moving, if it's getting lethargic, if it's behaving differently, you're going to want to get that animal to a qualified reptile vet ASAP. Because as we have learned keeping these animals, reptiles, I mentioned it earlier, they don't scream in pain, they don't cry. Their behavior changes. Okay, that's how you know something's wrong. So you got to get it early, because with reptiles, once you start to see actual symptoms, sometimes it can be too late. So you really have to be keyed into your animal's behavior, okay? So that's that. Let's see, man. Wow, shelled reptile all the way from Egypt. Hello, what's going on, man? I'd love to get to Egypt. Lots of cool animals in Egypt, lots of cool desert reptiles. Plus, I get to see the pyramids, and I wear my Indiana Jones hat, and I'd be really stoked. That's awesome, man. Hello from Egypt. Hello from South Florida, my friend. Hope to visit Egypt soon. Let's see. Are you planning to breed some of your snakes? Nature TV Julian. That's not a turtle and tortoise question, but I'll answer it. I've already bred my Dumerels, boas, and I'd like to eventually get some more pythons, like diamond pythons, and be able to breed those, because they do very well outside year-round here in Florida. Let's see. My Greek tortoise, Miss Potato Salad. My Greek tortoise is moving very slow. Is that bad, Kenan? Listen, it's hard for me to know, pal. Has he always moved fast? I don't know where you live. Is it winter where you live? Is he slowing down because it's winter time? Too many factors for me to be able to really answer that. It's a matter of, is he eating? Is he pooping? Does he drink? These are the things you have to look for. It could just be that he's not warmed up enough. Too many factors for me to give you a really good answer, buddy. I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, mate, I don't, no face. I do not deliver to the UK. I'm sorry. Are there any new tortoise species you want to add to Kamp Kenan? Jay Tolentino. Good question. Are there any tortoises I want to add? Wow, that's tough. You know what? There is. What am I thinking? Yes, there is. The Burmese star tortoise would be the final species of tortoise that I would like to add here to Kamp Kenan, because they do very well in South Florida. They're more hardy than the Sri Lankan or Indian star tortoises, and I can keep them outdoors without any issues. So yes, the Burmese star tortoise. Very cool tortoise. Another threat species. I'm going to grab one of the het for hypo, show you how these guys have been going on. These guys are doing well. These are the ones, if you go back and watch the show, that I bred Darth Maul with a hypo redfoot tortoise from my friend John Heidecker. They're growing nicely. Really, really beautiful animals. I love their shells, and they got that Darth Maul face. Some of them are getting the Darth Maul eyes, man. As they get bigger, they're going to have those red eyes. Really, really cool. So they get big, nice growth. You see the growth on their shells. There's not really any pyramiding happening here. Slow, steady growth of the proper diet. High enough humidity for them to hide in, and that goes for all species, even desert species. Give them a humid hide, and that'll combat that pyramiding that you see so much in some other captive raised animals. So I just thought I'd pull these guys out, because we were talking a lot without any animals to look at. And I'm sure you guys want to see animals, man. If you're like me, you want to see the critters. Let's see. Greetings from Switzerland. Well, that's Nature TV Julian, man. Glad to see you back. Thank you so much. Let's see. How are we doing here? Wow, we've been going a half an hour, man. I'm gonna start wrapping things up here. Just to reiterate, so a lot of questions. Some of you just jumped on. Yes, I do sell animals, but only in the United States. In the continental United States. If you are interested in a cherry head tortoise, a redfoot tortoise, a sulcata tortoise, an elongated tortoise, a radiated tortoise, a Greek tortoise, which haven't hatched yet, I have those. And you can email me with a question as far as how much, the price, and shipping info, and all that good noise. Email me at kampkenan@gmail.com for a price list, and I'll get back to you, okay? So here is this little guy. I'm going to show you another animal before we sign off here today. It's not a tortoise, it's a turtle. It is a Chinese box turtle. And these little guys, it's just one right now, but these little guys are pretty cool. I got them set up indoors right now. This is the Chinese box turtle. This right here will become his seam when he gets older, and he'll be able to close up just like an American box turtle. But these are a member of the genus Coora. And these guys are, they're threatened. These are a threatened species. They're endangered, actually. And in China, you know, they're just not as prevalent. In fact, there are now more Chinese box turtles in the United States in captivity than there are in China in the wild. So these command a pretty incredible price. These are a $400 baby turtle. Can you believe that? It's incredible. And people pay for that. They live a long time. You can go back at the Kamp Kenan channel and check out the video we did on the Chinese box turtle. Really, really cool animal. I love them there. And this one's dirty because I have it in a mix of mulch and potting soil. But they have a lot of personality, and they have beautiful colorations on their faces when they're cleaned up. So here he is. He thinks he's flying. Pretty rad little turtle, man. So that's it. These guys are going to eat a lot of different invertebrates, and they're also going to eat some vegetable matter and fruit as well. So they're omnivores. All right, guys, a couple more questions, then we're going to sign off here. I'm going to see Kong Skull Island tonight. Got to see my monster movies, people. I'm sure a lot of you are nerds like me and like monster movies. So let's see. How long? I'm answering 2 questions from Nature TV Julian, okay? But this is a good question. I thought I saw another one, a similar one. It was how long does it take for a sulcata tortoise to become mature? So with sulcatas, you look at about 10 years or about 40 to 50 pounds before a female can start laying eggs. Males about 10 years, and they're going to be reproductive. Same thing with radiated tortoise. You want to about 10, 15 years. But with the Aldabra and the Lops, it's different. It's about 20 years or 200 pounds before you can properly ID them visually as far as sex. So that's a long time to wait. It's quite an investment. That's why when you see them offered for sale, they're so expensive when you see adult tortoises, because somebody has put the time in to raise them up, so you don't have to do any guesswork, right? Let's see, man. Is kale good or bad? It's good for human beings. I eat kale. But kale has oxalic acid, and it's similar in that spinach. I wouldn't give too much of it, especially if the animal's kept indoors. And I don't know who asked me that. Kelly Brees, I believe. But yeah, I would just limit it. It's not something that I would make a staple. Collard greens, endives, mustard greens, dandelion greens, different grasses and weeds. Hold on, escarole, romaine. Those are all pretty good tortoise foods. And there you go. Let's see. Miguel Angel Aguari Hernandez is a new subscriber. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. I hope you enjoy the channel. There's a lot of videos for you. We have a lot more happening this year. Like I said, to reiterate, guys, we have t-shirts for sale. If you're interested in those, you can check it out at the kampkenan.com store. So go kampkenan.com and then click on the header for store, order your t-shirt. Everything you do helps us keep these videos going. We're going to be doing Crock Fest June 24th. I'll be emceeing. I'll have some of the animals you've met here in my videos at the Sanctuary Live, where I'll be giving a presentation, and I'll be hanging around all day long. So if you guys can make it to the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary for Crock Fest on June 24th, it's going to be a fantastic, fun, animal-filled day where you can meet a lot of different crocodile experts and biologists and help out the Cuban crocodile. We're going to be raising money for the Cuban crocodile, for Cuban crocodile research down there in Cuba, and we're hoping to get myself and Tom down to Cuba to film the actual helping of those animals with the funds that you generous people supply. We've done very well in Crock Fest in the past, raising thousands of dollars for research, so we hope to continue that trend. It's my first time being an organizer, so I hope you guys will help support it and make it feel like I pulled my weight for Crock Fest. They asked me to do it, so I'm relying on you guys to help me out. Anything you can send, even if it's 50 cents, $1, go check out the Crock Fest's Facebook page or my Instagram, Kamp Kenan, and check out and follow them. How you can follow Crock Fest on Instagram as well. There'll be all kinds of information how you can donate. Because you guys know we love reptiles, we love tortoises, lizard snakes, crocodiles. So there you have it. All right, guys. I'm really, really stoked that I had this chance to hang out with you. We did a long one. We did about 36 minutes, people. That's a pretty long one. I'm going to go outside, check on the animals. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I post videos there all the time about the goings-ons in my daily adventures around the house. And I also do Facebook. We got the YouTube right here, man. Don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 100,000 people. Help us out. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Hope I've answered some of your questions. We'll do this again. I like to do this about once a month, a Q&A. And I'm long-winded. I just keep talking. Have a great Thursday, everybody, or whenever you watch this replay. I hope you're having a good day. We'll see you again soon, all right? So long, guys.